There's been a lot of discussion lately on artificial intelligence in music. It is very much a hot button issue, but I actually think I stumbled across a workflow that involves songwriting and AI that isn't morally reprehensible. I think this is okay. And I kind of want to show you my workflow and see what you think. First, let's take a look at a clip of the song that I wrote with this workflow. We're going to look at a couple of verses and a chorus just to give you a good feel for, the chords and the melody and all that kind of thing. There's a sound I hear outside, something moving in the night. Break the glass, we have to leave. Skip the road, head for the trees. Hold my hand and don't let go. Close your eyes and think of home. Fireflies and lemonade. The ones you love are calling your name. Okay, so that's the song. I was actually asked to write an original song for a benefit concert coming up in August, and that's what I came up with. It's a song, if you're interested, about the kids at Camp Mystic and that tragic flood. If you'd like to hear the whole song, I will link it here. I'll put it in the description, all of that. But let's talk about AI in music for a second. What a lot of people are up in arms about is the fact that you can create songs now just with a prompt. So all you have to do is go into a tool like Suno and just tell it, I want a rock song in the key of G, mid-tempo, whatever it is, and it's going to produce that. Now, how does it produce that? Well, the AI is trained on data, and that data is music from human beings, other artists, their creations. And what it's basically doing is it's, gathering up 100, 1,000, whatever the number is, rock songs in this case, and it's kind of aggregating them and getting all the ideas, like what are the common chord progressions? What are the melodic ideas? What kind of things do they do in the chorus? And does it have a bridge? That kind of thing. And it's basically like a song spinner. It just uses that data and reads your prompt and spins up a song. And it's not necessarily copying anything exactly, but it's definitely got familiar ideas, echoes of artistic choices that were all created by human beings. And one of the big issues is that if you create like an AI band and you write all these songs with them, you put that on Spotify, there's a chance you might get a lot of followers, you might even get some money from it. And the moral question is, what is owed to the human beings that created that data set that the AI needs to be able to create music? So that's kind of the current controversy, but I'm not here to comment on that or get into it any deeper than that. I just wanted to catch you up because I think it's relevant. My workflow, I think, is okay. It does involve AI, but let me walk you through it and then let's kind of reflect on it and see what you think. So the very first thing I did is I sat down with my guitar and I wrote a song. I came up with a chord progression. I came up with a melodic idea. It didn't have words yet. And then once I kind of nailed down those two things, then I started writing words to that melody. And there I had it. I had a verse, I had a chorus, I've got a chord progression, and I just went ahead and wrote the whole song. So that was the very first step. I don't know why I needed my guitar for that, but I just wanted to kind of emphasize that was the first step. And I think that's one of the keys to making this workflow that involves AI okay. All right, the next thing I did was I recorded that demo into my phone and I used my iPhone voice memo app and I just recorded the whole song right into a voice memo. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's dated July 13th, new recording 20, and it's like 3 minutes and 40 seconds total. So there it is right there. It's like 13 seconds into the recording if you see the time is like 3:13 or something. But that was my second step. So I moved it to my phone. The reason I did that, number one, is so I did not forget. That happens all the time when a song is brand new. The second reason I did it is because I did go to Suno here. And I went to their create option. And by the way, I have the paid version of Suno. You're definitely going to need that if you want to try this. So go to create and then go to audio and go to upload. Here, I uploaded the demo that I recorded on my phone. And then I asked Suno to create a cover of my song. Now, what you can see here in Suno is the demo that I uploaded. So Suno actually created this prompt. I did not type any of this. It says acoustic folk rock song in the key of G major. That's wrong, by the way. It's in D. And it says a tempo of 70 BPM. So it kind of took my song, it listened to it, and it created a prompt. And now the covers are going to come in. And let's listen to a couple of these covers. So here's the first one that came out.
There's a light inside the bed, casting shadows overhead.
I thought that one was okay, but it's a little too upbeat. I didn't like how the drums started right off the bat. This song is a lot more like mournful. I don't want that to be overdone, but I definitely don't want to kick off with, a drum beat like that. So I didn't like that one. And then we go to the next one.
There's a light inside the bed, casting shadows overhead.
Now this one was much better. This one was more of like a ballad, and it started with piano and guitar, if I remember correctly. So now we're getting somewhere. And I hope you're finding this cool and fun and interesting. That's how I felt it. I thought it was really neat to hear, different versions of my song, different takes, covers of my song. And I could kind of pick and choose the ones I really liked. And to me, this isn't that much different than taking your demo into the studio and working with a producer who is definitely going to comment on your song. They talk about instrumentation. They might even alter the melody a little bit, or they might say this song needs a shorter ending or a longer ending or a bridge or whatever it is. That's sort of how I felt during this process. I felt like it was a producer kind of giving me alternate ways to look at my own song, and I could find the right one. Now, speaking of that, I did find the right one, but let me tell you what I had to do. Something I noticed about all these covers is they really weren't getting the instrumental melody that I wanted to be happening. So I re-recorded the song. I think I did it in GarageBand, and I just made sure that the parts were a little more clear. I was hitting the chord progressions a little more confidently, and I made sure to have a melody guitar to help the AI, because sometimes it has trouble and it will get the chords wrong, or it'll just miss the melody entirely. Now, once I did that, the very first cover I got was this one.
There's a light beside the bed, casting shadows overhead. Say a prayer, then story time. Tell me yours and I'll tell mine.
I don't know if you recognize that from me previewing my song at the beginning of this video, but that's the version I really liked. It starts off and it's a little bit melancholy. There's no drums or anything. And then after the first verse, we get that pulsing bass drum coming in. I just thought it was awesome. Some good arranging and some good instrumentation that I definitely wanted to work with. So let me take you to the next step. After Suno, what I did was I went into Logic. And the reason I went into Logic is I dragged the Suno song into Logic. I right clicked and I went to processing stem splitter. And Logic was able to listen to the song and split it into individual tracks, more or less. It wasn't perfectly done, but it was good enough to work with. And what I got was vocals and backing vocals, harmonies. I got drums, bass, and then other, and that's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's got some country instruments, it's got some synthesizers, just got a little mood in that track. Now, once I had those tracks split, I thought to myself, well, wait a second. Now I could take out the lead vocal and just record it myself. And I kind of want to keep those harmonies. I like the harmonies and I like that they're a different voice than mine. That could be a little more interesting to the listener's ear. I love the drums and bass. And while this isn't like professional quality, it's pretty darn good. I did some melody guitar. I did kind of like a rhythmic pulse with the drums and the bass. Definitely drawing inspiration from people like Steve Lukather, who used to do a lot of that on Michael Jackson songs. Just sort of like a palm muted single note pulsing idea. And the other thing I did was I recorded an entire guitar solo. So I'm all over this track, never mind the fact that I wrote the entire thing, but I've got my voice on it. I double tracked my voice and I added a bunch of acoustic guitars to this. So it's kind of like AI and I are collaborating together to lift this from what could have been just me and an acoustic guitar to something that's a little bit closer to studio quality. And that's really the full workflow I wanted to share with you today. So I started by writing the core parts of the song. So it started with me, no AI, recorded it into my phone, uploaded that into Suno, and created cover songs of my own tune. I listened and found one that I really liked. I thought, yes, that's the vibe I'm going for. And then I took that and dragged it into Logic and created stems out of it. By the way, Suno does that too, but Logic for me did a way better job. So now that I've got the stems, this is great because I can start taking tracks out and leaving others in that I want and record my own tracks, my voice, my guitar ideas, melodies, rhythmic parts, solos. I think this is an acceptable way to use AI. And now it's much more of a human-led collaboration with AI. And I think that's really the key here. So a couple of things to end the video. I hope you found that interesting. And I would love to hear what you think in terms of morally. Is this okay to do? Do you think that there's enough human intervention here? Do you think it is human-led enough to be okay? What I'm really using AI and Suno for is more like the sounds and sure, maybe some ideas on like arranging and things like that. But I'm treating the tool and utilizing it more like a producer rather than a song spinner that's just working off other people's ideas and just giving me chords and melody. So that's why I think it's okay. But what do you think? My other hope in sharing this video is that you try this out. If you think it's okay and you think it's interesting, I would encourage you to try this out. I had a blast doing this and I'm going to do it a lot more. Like I cannot wait to try this on some of my other songs to see how they come out. And I guess that leads me naturally to my third point. I hope you'll consider giving my full song a listen. Like I said, I'll link it in this video and in the description. It is a dedication to the victims of that tragedy in Texas. It's for a benefit concert, and I did put a lot of work into it, and I would love to just share it with as many people as possible. So please do consider giving that a listen and a like if you get a chance. Let me know what you think of all this, and I'll see you in the next video.